I haven't existed on the internet for a few years now, so maybe I can reshape my online persona a little bit. I hope. Anyway, the first month of me trying to make a game has come to an end, and I think I made quite some progress. Some of you may have seen my shorts already. This video here is gonna go a little above and beyond what the shorts can show. And while I'm throwing in some videos of me learning, I will tell you a little bit about the game I plan on making. The player controls a fox mother taking care of her cubs. Your task is to collect food, play hide and seek with the cubs, teach them how to hunt, and go for a few howling sessions in the evening. I know they aren't wolves, but we don't need to dabble too much into realism, do we? The entire game is supposed to be roughly 2 hours long, but for those that are new, let me introduce myself first. Hi, I am Thiefbug, or Ricky. I am 32 years old, and I am a web and app developer from Germany. I already made a small game that is now off of Steam due to early access and me abandoning the project. I will pick that up again at some point, but the scope was a little too large for me to handle, so I ultimately scrapped it for now. I already made 2 prototypes using Unity for university, and one was a top-down shooter, and the other one was an RTS game with destructible environment. That's also the reason I'm sticking with Unity, because I have quite a bit of experience in that engine already, and I really don't have the energy to look into other engines at the moment. For a long time I thought about what I wanted to make, and ultimately came up with the idea for a Fox game back in 2020. However, I was hospitalized for 8 weeks due to my mental health not being so great, and after that I first had to get my life back together. Then I worked on another project that I'm currently trying to get off the ground, and I also have a freelance customer that I'm writing an app for. Some other things I'm doing every now and then are live productions for events such as Crossover, it's a Tekken tournament, I don't know if you ever heard about that, and I enjoy modding GameCube controllers. So yeah, I guess I'm trying to make a game with all of these things and trying to keep my social life intact. Yeah, this is not the easiest task. Oh, and I'm an absolute karaoke fanatic. And in addition to that, trying to make a game in your free time is way better than getting high every day and questioning your life choices, so yeah, I guess. Anyhow, let's get into the meat of the video. First, I am not a skilled artist. I'm using a lot of pre-made assets from the asset store, and I am not ashamed to admit that. I'm going for a simplistic style with the game, as that simplifies the world building a lot. And, I don't know, what the fuck script, where, that went somewhere, I guess? Anyway, after doing the very basics, such as implementing a character controller and then replacing it several times, it was time to start with the first interactables. The player can pick up and eat mushrooms that can be found in the forest. There will be edible mushrooms and there will be poisonous mushrooms, and these will have certain effects, but you'll see about that in another video, I suppose. After that, I was messing with splines as I thought these would be nice for some default routes for the wildlife, and yeah, I ended up scrapping that again. And really, I don't need to talk a whole lot about that process because everything up to this point is currently also on my YouTube shorts with this daily journey thing, but yeah. Then the Unity Asset Store sale started, and I bought a couple of low-poly animals that I wanted to use for the game, as they come with animations already, and thus are fairly simple to implement. For these I had to bake a nav mesh, and there are a couple of issues with that, especially using terrain and half of the trees not having any colliders. That was fun, that was a lot of fun, except it wasn't. After that, it was time to create the fox den, and I took the possibly dumbest approach one could take: use rocks to design the hallway. Instead of just using the terrain I created and used that to slope the entrance, nah, I didn't. I'll have to do that eventually, but I didn't. After that, it was time to add the fox cubs, give them a nav mesh agent, and have them follow the player. Things started to come together nicely so far, and I thought that I already had a good chunk of the game done. Yeah, right, because there won't be bugs, and that is already disregarding the fact that the majority of the actual game mechanics are not implemented yet. I'm smart. Anyhow, I then scripted the prey behavior that is applicable to all the animals with a certain set of animation parameters, which is gonna make adding new animals fairly easy. At least in theory. I haven't really gotten that far yet, but it worked with most of them. So it took a while, but now the animals will flee from the player, and personally, I really like the way it turned out. I hope it doesn't break. After that, it was time to sketch some hunger icons for the cubs. These are above the mushrooms for now, but they'll do the trick once I implement them properly. Now it was time to implement a sense system that can help the player figure out where to go next. However, this will not be the only path shown, as there will be 2 routes, the next objective and a sort of preferred route by the fox. Implementing that system was interesting, and I really hope it doesn't break. Again, it probably will, considering that it's just enough agent running towards the goal and spawning particles behind it. Yeah, I feel like such a cheap. I feel like such a cheat. God damn it, learn to speak, idiot. After that, I looked into the cutscenes and wrote the according signals to disable and enable certain behaviors. I'm really not happy with how it looks just yet, but cutscenes will have to take a backseat until the bare bones progression is done. And that was really everything I got done in the first month. Like I said, I don't have as much time as others, so there's been a couple of days that I either couldn't work on the game or didn't have the energy. But that's it for the first month. And before anyone asks, I'm done with speedrunning. I still love Majora's Mask, but I just do not see the appeal in speedrunning anymore. It's not gonna happen. Don't ask. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Feedback is appreciated. I am tired, and I'm probably gonna go to sleep. Bye!